我叫 Laura。
什么地方？
美国来。
啊？
美国。
美国的。
对。你工作钱好不好？
也可以。
还可以。
对。
一天多少
100多嘛。
100多。He earns about 100 kwai every day, which is about $12, $12 US every day. 谢谢，再见。
再见。
They are not a friendly bunch.
Yeah.
Our drivers probably should think it's me.
Let's get out of here. Here you go.
Okay. People are saying we have to get out now.
Okay.
These people.
Okay.
This is Professor Hua and her team of research students, and for the past 3 years they've been going to Guiyu, known as the e-waste town, to study the effects of e-waste on humans. Professor Hua and her staff began their study despite the fact that local officials in Guiyu didn't want attention paid to the e-waste issue. Li Yan here is a PhD research student who has been studying the effects of e-waste on newborn babies. They test the amount of lead and other heavy metals inside the baby's blood and tissue. So Professor, in 2003, when you first started the study, what sort of health effects were you seeing in children due to the e-waste?
Their blood lead is higher than the normal group.
When you have a high blood lead content, what does that do to your health? What are the effects on the body?
Yeah, the lead have many bad effects, especially for the nervous system. Maybe the children they don't want to learn, and also they have learning problem, or the IQ is decreased.
This cart in front of me is carrying different electronic parts. It's carrying it to another town where the parts will be burned so that the heavy metals can be extracted, and that's where things can get really toxic. Oh.
Oh
my gosh.
烧那个电壳的，就是这个。
You have to be extra careful here, which is why I moved into the back seat, because this is where all of the burning happens, the burning of all the electronics. It's very toxic, and this town has gotten a lot of media attention, so people are very suspicious. It kind of feels like we just entered hell. It's dusty, dirty. You can barely see in front of you. It's polluted, and it smells like poison. Our driver waited until night was falling before driving us to a camp where several hundred migrant e-waste workers live.
Okay. He's asking, are you there to go out with your small camera?
Sure, sure. Come in, Rich?
Sure, yeah. Can I go?
Not with this big camera.
No,
Yeah.
I can
Yes,
go.
yes.
Most of the migrants had just finished work for the day. They seemed a little suspicious of us.
他是从美国来的。美国来的。对啊，我是从香港来的。他是在这里观光，你带我走一圈可以吗？可以啊。你自己又不是不知道。你带我走一圈啊，你到那里面好玩。
So this is what this little town consists of. All of the houses have little bits of electronic parts that they're going through. The walls are made of plastic. It's just a bunch of shacks that make up their town. This is a part of a television set that this man over here is dismantling. Yes. Can you give me 介绍 Can you teach me?
对，那就怎么唱？我就不能问。
And then this part they burn. Yes. Do people get sick from all the smell? Because I have a headache.
OK， 现在你们现在，因为我们抽都有一点味道给你，你闻到这里有味道吗？没有，什么没有味道？因为他们现在已经有头疼了，他们
哪里有头疼？
对，
没有了，这个都没有了。
This is what they do. They live amongst their work. They wake up to these bags and they need to start disassembling all of these parts. And some of the parts are then sent over to be burned for the heavy metal that's inside them. Studies have been done on the children who live in this area, showing high levels of heavy metal poisoning. Okay. He's gonna give us a tour of his house.
哪是你？你妈妈，我老妈。哪里？你好。It's
This is Wang Nianbo. He's 18 years old. This is his father. This is his mother. His brother. And his neighbor. And they all live here. Well, not his neighbor. They all live here, and they work on, disassembling e-waste. So he just arrived here about a month ago. 喜欢吗？
哎，这有什么喜欢不喜欢的？反正过来就是做事情嘛。
哎，平常的时候你有什么玩什么的？
工作很单调，没什么玩的。
Okay, we only work, not really have much time to play around. Okay, 谁呀？
Traditionally, the Chinese government has been slow to acknowledge the vast amount of damage that's been done to the environment. But in recent years, China's media has expanded and become much more aggressive in exposing issues that the government has concealed, such as e-waste. In turn, the government has become more responsive. As Professor Hua and her team continued monitoring heavy metal poisoning in the children of Guiyu, they noticed improvements. So what they've also found in this research is that the lead content in the blood from children has gone down since 2005 quite a bit, but it's still higher than what is normal, about 25% higher. Why are you seeing the lead levels going down?
One important reason is that the local government makes an effort to change this situation. TV and the newspaper and the internet, they get news about Guiyu, so they also feel the pressure. The national government pushed them to do something.
China, along with 164 countries, has ratified an international treaty known as the Basel Convention that prohibits the exportation of hazardous waste to developing countries. However, poor supervision of imports as well as local corruption has allowed the e-waste industry in China to flourish. The U.S. remains the only developed nation that has not ratified the Basel Convention. It signed the treaty, but Congress hasn't written the laws needed to enforce it. Meanwhile, the U.S. continues to be the biggest producer and exporter of e-waste in the world.
See more Vanguard Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on Current or online at current.com/Vanguard.